You guys want to meet my dogs? I have a Rottweiler mix and a Belgian Malinois mix. Come here, guys. Come here. Rafa, come here. These are my dogs making noise in the background. Let's see. Come here. This is Rafa. Look up here. Look up here. Look up here. There's Rafa with his one blue eye. How about Bowie? What's Bowie doing? Is Bowie gonna come? Come on, Bowie. Come here. Come here. Yeah, and there's Bowie. All right. You guys go do what you do. Welcome to January 19. Our word for today is He satisfies. And it comes from Matthew 14:20. This is the English Standard Version. It says, "And they all ate and were satisfied, and they took up 12 baskets full of the broken pieces left over." So a large crowd followed Jesus into what the English Standard Version says, a desolate place. Jesus was going to a desolate place, and this massive crowd follows him out to this place. Another way that we can say is that he went out to the wilderness. And this crowd of thousands of people followed him out to the wilderness, where there was no apparent provision. The disciples spoke from a natural paradigm and according to worldly wisdom. And they told Jesus, send these people away. Send them back to the city they came from so they can buy food for themselves. And Jesus responds, you feed them. Isn't that interesting? I'm sure that blew them away. And then Jesus blessed and multiplied what they had, and the disciples distributed until everyone was fully satisfied. Their needs were met. And not only that, but there were 12 large baskets full of leftovers. Jesus demonstrated that he goes beyond the limits of satisfaction for those who pursue him. Is God never enough or more than enough? When we evaluate our lives, do we see an expectation of lack or leftovers? Are we famished or satisfied? In Luke 6:21, Jesus says, "Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you shall be satisfied." Psalm 107:8 and 9 says, "Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. For he satisfies the longing soul, and the hungry soul he fills with good things." Psalm 37:25 says, "I have been young and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken or his children begging for bread." Have you pursued Jesus into the wilderness? In the desolate place, we are always tempted to go back to where we came from. Just like in this story with the disciples, they were in a desolate place. The people became hungry. The disciples said, send them back to where they came from. And it goes also back to the story of Israel in the wilderness. When they came into the wilderness, they came into a place of carnal need, and they began to grumble among themselves. Let's go back to Egypt, back to the place that we came from, even though Jesus brought them out of there. With Jesus, the wilderness is a place of manna and miracles. It's the place where we truly confront our beliefs about God, about his love, about who we are in him, about what we are going to live according to. It says that Jesus had compassion on his followers, and he healed them, and he fed them. We have all these scriptures that I went through, but also there's so much more and so many promises in the Bible. And we come into a place of wilderness, and we have to decide, do we believe what the Word says more than the circumstances around us? There's nothing in the wilderness. There's not enough in the wilderness. But do I trust God and his Word more than I trust what I see with my eyes? We talked earlier this week about actually it was last week, we talked about the pretty trap and being led by our eyes into things that look great, but they're not great. And we can also be led away from the path of God because things look impossible, but that's exactly where you come into a faith encounter with God. Jesus wants to meet with you. He wants you to follow him out to a place that's a wilderness, a desolate place, and he wants to reveal himself to you in a powerful way where you will come into full confidence in who he is and how he loves you and how he wants to work in your life and the new creation that you are through him. And he wants you to come into a place where you're not led by your flesh, you're not led by your soul, mind, will, and emotions, but you're led by your spirit. In John 4, Jesus meets a woman at a well during the hottest time of the day. And he tells her that if she drinks from the well, she's going to be thirsty again. But if she drinks from the water that he has, she will never thirst again. And John goes on in chapter 7 to tell us that this water that Jesus is referring to is Holy Spirit. And we have to come into a place where we're not going to make decisions and be led by our flesh. Yes, God's going to take care of us. He's going to make sure he feeds us. It says in the word that I've never seen the children of the righteous begging for bread. He's got us. And he's not only the God of just enough, he's the God of leftovers, right? But it begins in a place of coming into a spiritual relationship, a spiritual revelation, and putting our trust in him that goes beyond what our bodies are telling us, our senses are telling us, our mind is even telling us, our will might be telling us because it's longing for something else, our emotions. We're not being driven by these things anymore because we recognize that it all begins in the place of the Spirit, and we come into this place of the Spirit with him, and suddenly we take hold of his Spirit and are filled by his Spirit, and his Spirit flows through us, and we discover a satisfaction that we could find nowhere else and in nothing else. Jesus satisfies. Today for our reading, we're going to be reading from Genesis 19, Psalms 19, Joshua 19, and then we'll be reading from Matthew 14, 1 through 21. Genesis 19, and this is the New Living Translation. That evening, the two angels came to the entrance of the city of Sodom. Lot was sitting there, and when he saw them, he stood up to meet them. Then he welcomed them and bowed with his face to the ground. "My lords," he said, "come to my home to wash your feet and be my guests for the night. You may then get up early in the morning and be on your way again." "Oh, no," they replied. "We'll just spend the night out here in the city square." But Lot insisted. So at last they went home with him. Lot prepared a feast for them, complete with fresh bread made without yeast, and they ate it. But before they retired for the night, all the men of Sodom, young and old, came from all over the city and surrounded the house. They shouted to Lot, "Where are the men who came to spend the night with you? Bring them out to us so we can have sex with them." So Lot stepped outside to talk to them, shutting the door behind him. "Please, my brothers," he begged, "don't do such a wicked thing. Look, I have 2 virgin daughters. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do with them as you wish. But please leave these men alone, for they are my guests and are under my protection." "Stand back," they shouted. "This fellow came to town as an outsider, and now he's acting like our judge. We'll treat you far worse than those other men." And they lunged toward Lot to break down the door. But the 2 angels reached out, pulled Lot into the house, and bolted the door. Then they blinded all the men, young and old, who were at the door of the house. So they gave up trying to get inside. Meanwhile, the angels questioned Lot. "Do you have any other relatives here in the city?" they asked. "Get them out of this place, your sons-in-law, sons, daughters, or anyone else, for we are about to destroy this city completely. The outcry against this place is so great it has reached the Lord, and he has sent us to destroy it." So Lot rushed out to tell his daughter's fiancés, "Quick, get out of the city, the Lord is about to destroy it." But the young men thought he was only joking. At dawn the next morning, the angels became insistent. "Hurry," they said to Lot. "Take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here. Get out right now, or you will be swept away in the destruction of the city." When Lot still hesitated, the angels seized his hand and the hands of his wife and 2 daughters and rushed them to safety outside the city, for the Lord was merciful. When they were safely out of the city, one of the angels ordered, "Run for your lives and don't look back or stop anywhere in the valley. Escape to the mountains, or you will be swept away." "Oh, no, my lord," Lot begged. "You have been so gracious to me and saved my life, and you have shown such great kindness, but I cannot go to the mountains. Disaster would catch up to me there, and I would soon die. See, there is a small village nearby. Please let me go there instead. Don't you see how small it is? Then my life will be saved." "All right," the angel said. "I will grant your request. I will not destroy the little village. But hurry, escape to it, for I can do nothing until you arrive there." This explains why that village was known as Zoar, which means little place. Lot reached the village just as the sun was rising over the horizon. Then the Lord rained down fire and burning sulfur from the sky on Sodom and Gomorrah. He utterly destroyed them, along with the other cities and villages of the plain, wiping out all the people and every bit of vegetation. But Lot's wife looked back as she was following behind him, and she turned into a pillar of salt. Abraham got up early that morning and hurried out to the place where he had stood in the Lord's presence. He looked out across the plain toward Sodom and Gomorrah and watched as columns of smoke rose from the cities like smoke from a furnace. But God had listened to Abraham's request and kept Lot safe, removing him from the disaster that engulfed the cities on the plain. Afterward, Lot left Zoar because he was afraid of the people there, and he went to live in a cave in the mountains with his 2 daughters. One day the older daughter said to her sister, "There are no men left anywhere in this entire area, so we can't get married like everyone else, and our father will soon be too old to have children. Come, let's get him drunk with wine, and then we will have sex with him, that we will preserve our family line through our father." So that night they got him drunk with wine, and the older daughter went in and had intercourse with her father. He was unaware of her lying down or getting up again. The next morning the older daughter said to her younger sister, "I had sex with our father last night. Let's get him drunk with wine again tonight, and you go in and have sex with him. That way we will preserve our family line through our father." So that night they got him drunk with wine again, and the younger daughter went in and had intercourse with him. As before, he was unaware of her lying down or getting up again. As a result, both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their own father. When the older daughter gave birth to a son, she named him Moab. He became the ancestor of the nation now known as the Moabites. When the younger daughter gave birth to a son, she named him Ben-Ami. He became the ancestor of the nation known as the Ammonites. Psalms 19. The heavens proclaim the glory of God. The skies display his craftsmanship. Day after day they continue to speak. Night after night they make him known. They speak without a sound or word. Their voice is never heard. Yet their message has gone throughout the earth, and their words to all the world. God has made a home in the heavens for the sun. It bursts forth like a radiant bridegroom after his wedding. It rejoices like a great athlete eager to run the race. The sun rises at one end of the heavens and follows its course to the other end. Nothing can hide from its heat. The instructions of the Lord are perfect, reviving the soul. The decrees of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. The commandments of the Lord are right, bringing joy to the heart. The commands of the Lord are clear, giving insight for living. Reverence for the Lord is pure, lasting forever. The laws of the Lord are true, each one is fair. They are more desirable than gold, even the finest gold. They are sweeter than honey, even honey dripping from the comb. They are a warning to your servant, a great reward for those who obey him. How can I know all the sins lurking in my heart? Cleanse me from these hidden faults. Keep your servant from deliberate sins. Don't let them control me. Then I will be free of guilt and innocent of great sin. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing to you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Joshua 19. The second allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Simeon. Their homeland was surrounded by Judah's territory. Simeon's homeland included Beersheba, Sheba, Moladah, Hazar-Shual, Bala, Ezem, Etolad, Bethel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar-Susa, Beth Lebaoth, and Sharuhen. 13 towns with their surrounding villages. It also included Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 towns with their villages, including all the surrounding villages as far south as Balath Bear, also known as Ramah of the Negev. This was the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Simeon. Their allocation of land came from part of what had been given to Judah because Judah's territory was too large for them. So the tribe of Simeon received an allocation within the territory of Judah. The third allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Zebulun. The boundary of Zebulun's homeland started at Sarid. From there it went west, going past Maralah, touching Dabasheth, and proceeding to the brook east of Jokneam. In the other direction, the boundary went east from Sarid to the border of Kisloth Tabor, and from there to Daberath and up to Japhia. Then it continued east to Gath Hefer, Eth Kazin, and Rimmon, and turned toward Neah. The northern boundary of Zebulun passed Hanathon and ended at the valley of Iftael. The towns in these areas included Katath, Nahalal, Shimron, Idalah, and Bethlehem, 12 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Zebulun included these towns and their surrounding villages. The fourth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Issachar. Its boundaries included the following towns: Jezreel, Kesuloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharath, Rabith, Kishion, Ebez, Remeth, En-Ganim, En-Hadah, and Beth-Pazez. The boundary also touched Tabor, Shahazuma, and Beth-Shemesh, ending at the Jordan River, 16 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Issachar included these towns and their surrounding villages. The fifth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Asher. Its boundaries included these towns: Helkath, Hali, Beten, Akshaph, Alamelech, Amad, and Mishal. The boundary on the west touched Carmel and Shihor-Libnath. Then it turned east toward Beth Dagon and ran as far as Zebulun and the valley of Iftael, going north to Beth-Emek and Neiel. It then continued north to Kabul, Abdon, Rehob, Hamon, Cana, and as far as Greater Sidon. Then the boundary turned toward Ramah and the fortress of Tyre, where it turned toward Hosah and came to the Mediterranean Sea. The territory also included Mehebel, Akzib, Umah, Aphek, and Rehob, 22 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Asher included these towns and their surrounding villages. The sixth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Naphtali. Its boundary ran from Heleph, from the oak of Zananim, and extended across to Adami Nekeb, Jabneel, and as far as Lukum, ending at the Jordan River. The western boundary ran past Aznath Tabor, then to Hukok, and touched the border of Zebulun in the south, the border of Asher on the west, and the Jordan River on the east. The fortified towns included in this territory were Zedim, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Kinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, En-Hazor, Yiron, Migdalel, Horem, Beth Anath, and Beth Shemesh, 19 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clan of the tribe of Naphtali included these towns and their surrounding villages. The seventh allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Dan. The land allocated as their homeland including the following towns: Zorah, Ishtaol, Ir-Shemesh, Shalabim, Aijalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltekeh, Gebethon, Baalath, Jehud, Benabarak, Gath-Rimmon, Me-Jarkon, Rakon, and the territory across from Joppa. But the tribe of Dan had trouble taking possession of their land, so they attacked the town of Laish. They captured it, slaughtered its people, and settled there. They renamed the town Dan, after their ancestor. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Dan included these towns and their surrounding villages. After all the land was divided among the tribes, the Israelites gave a piece of land to Joshua as his allocation. For the Lord had said he could have any town he wanted. He chose Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim. He rebuilt the town and lived there. These are the territories that Eleazar the priest, Joshua, son of Nun, and the tribal leaders allocated as grants of land to the tribes of Israel by casting sacred lots in the presence of the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle at Shiloh. So the division of the land was completed. Matthew 14, verses 1 through 21. When Herod Antipas, the ruler of Galilee, heard about Jesus, he said to his advisers, "This must be John the Baptist, raised from the dead. That is why he can do such miracles." For Herod had arrested and imprisoned John as a favor to his wife Herodias, the former wife of Herod's brother Philip. John had been telling Herod, "It is against God's law for you to marry her." Herod wanted to kill John, but he was afraid of a riot, because all the people believed John was a prophet. But at a birthday party for Herod, Herodias' daughter performed a dance that greatly pleased him. So he promised with a vow to give her anything she wanted. At her mother's urging, the girl said, "I want the head of John the Baptist on a tray." Then the king regretted what he had said, but because of the vow he had made in front of his guests, he issued the necessary orders. So John was beheaded in the prison, and his head was brought on a tray and given to the girl, who took it to her mother. Later, John's disciples came for his body and buried it. Then they went and told Jesus what had happened. As soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. But the crowds heard where he had headed and followed on foot from many towns. Jesus saw the huge crowd as he stepped from the boat, and he had compassion on them and healed their sick. That evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." But Jesus said, "That isn't necessary. You feed them." "But we have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. "Bring them here," he said. Then he told the people to sit down on the grass. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up toward heaven, and blessed them. Then, breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave the bread to the disciples, who distributed it to the people. They all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward, the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. About 5,000 men were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children.